The Catholic Church has had hundreds of popes, but it still remains opposed to the idea of female priests. But there is a mysterious pope named John in the 9th century who was removed from the records of popes with no explanation. Today we will learn of the theory that this is because Pope John was actually a woman. This is Knowledge Voyage.
But before this video starts, don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the bell so that you can get all of our weekly videos about history. Thank you.
The Church in the 9th century was in crisis. The papacy swung back and forth between several popes, some of whom were of questionable moral character. So imagine their relief when a pope renowned for his intelligence and piety was elected. One day this pope, named John, led a procession through the streets of Rome, only to collapse. It transpired that this was because the pope was about to give birth. It was then realised that the pope was in fact a woman. The furious Roman crowd are said to have killed this female pope, and all records of Pope John were removed from papal records. So who was John? Who was he? Or should that be, who was she? John's real name was Joan, and according to medieval writers, she was born to English parents in what is now Germany. Joan excelled intellectually, but in those days, professional options for women were limited, but she wouldn't let that stop her. Driven by her intelligence, ambition and faith, Joan took a daring step. She disguised herself as a man and entered a monastery. For years she lived the life of a devout monk, praying, fasting and studying, all the while keeping her gender a secret. But she was attracting attention, albeit due to her skill. She is said to have had peerless intelligence, and men came from miles around to hear her teach. She was sent to the Vatican, where she worked as a secretary, then as an advisor to the Pope, a position of great influence and respect. And this could explain why when Pope Benedict III died in the year 855, she was seen as the natural replacement. However, the fact that Pope John, or should that be Pope Joan, was pregnant, suggests that she had a somewhat relaxed interpretation of the vow of celibacy. The father of the child is said to have been a close male friend who she fell in love with during a religious retreat. Needless to say, the Catholic Church was outraged. Not only had a woman taken the papacy, a woman who had defied the vow of celibacy also had done it. Her name was blotted out of all records of popes. There are some who argue Joan was just a legend, others that it was just a polemic to make the Catholic Church look bad. But there is one piece of evidence that seems very revealing. In 1445, the Vatican convened a council at Constance in Germany. Czech reformer Jan Hus was on trial for his life, and in fact he was burned at the stake in this trial. But during his trial, he used the story of a female Pope Joan as criticism of the Church, and revealingly, he was not contradicted or shouted down. In other words, the Church did not deny the existence of Pope Joan. Was this tacit admission that there was really a female Pope, and the Church was forced in open court to admit it? Another interesting fact is that to this day, modern popes avoid taking a certain street through Rome during religious parades, despite the fact it being a logical path to take. This is allegedly because this was the section of the route where Pope Joan collapsed and gave birth. There is also a statue of a pope in Siena Cathedral in Italy, with what clearly appears to be a female face. This statue was proclaimed by Pope Clement VIII to be Pope Zacharias, but was this really an attempt by the sculptor to show there really was a female pope? We will of course never know for sure, but if there was a female pope, it would make her one of the most ambitious and successful women of all time.
Thanks for watching everyone. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.